Hi, my name is Lauren McGuire. Welcome to my Freshworks Masterclass on the relationship between happiness and sales performance. I am the Senior Director of Sales at Forecast. Forecast is a professional services automation platform that improves financial and operational performance around projects. It's actually a funny story on why I chose sales. So when I graduated university, I was offered a full-time job. There was an option for PR and an option for sales. So I actually did the PR assessment, and after I turned it in, they offered me the sales job. And I quickly realized that was the right role for me. After being in sales, the direct impact that you have on a business is so impactful. The things that I'm doing day to day have a direct impact on my peers, on the cross-functional team, on the business as a whole. And then as I grow as a leader, it's really about building these awesome sales organizations. I think a happy sales culture leads to a high-performing team because there's less stress. I think stress is just something that naturally happens within sales organizations. It drives a level of urgency. It drives, people to be competitive and really, impactful in their sales cycle. But it's a fine balance. And if that sales or that stress gets out of whack, then people aren't confident. And when people aren't confident, they're not asking the right questions. They're not, getting their peers involved in their deals. And when people are confident, they're asking the hard questions, the hard discovery questions of where, what is the impact to the business? Who else do I need to involve in this deal and help you evaluate, forecast, or whatever program they're starting to evaluate? But more importantly, can I bring somebody in? Do I need to bring in my manager? Do I need to bring in a peer or a solutions engineer? And when you're that confident and not stressed, you can actually feel confident to bring in those types of people into your deals. You recognize where your gaps are, and you're comfortable bringing in those types of people into your deals. I think most salespeople or sales leaders go wrong is they assume that all salespeople are motivated by money, and that if they're making some money that they're likely happy. But what I've started to realize is that happiness isn't just about the money and performing, it's also about the personal development. And are they collaborating on a team? And we come to work with our peers and potentially our best friends. Are we sharing best practices? And I think it's really important for sales leaders to be able to focus on that and make sure they're fostering an environment for collaboration and the opportunity to share what worked on a deal previously, maybe what didn't work on a deal last time, so that a new person won't make that same mistake. And I think as long as you're able to foster that environment of collaboration and that true team environment, it goes a longer way from a happiness standpoint. We want to work with people who make us feel better. And so it's all about really fostering that team environment. Happiness was not a stated goal for me previously, but after reading the Harvard Business Review, it absolutely will be. I want to make sure my team is happy, and I think it's really important that it is something that we actually do focus on. And like I said, it hadn't been necessarily a strategic goal, but it absolutely will be going forward. Developing a sales team that is happy has to be at the core vision and strategy of the company, not necessarily just the sales organization. So when I think about Forecast, I was fortunate enough to be part of our executive offsite where we were developing our values. And one of our core values that we're actually road testing right now is oomph. And oomph means, is there energy around it? Is there happiness around it? Are we able to bring our A game to everything we do? And the fact that that's at the executive level, that we are deciding what the core values of the company are. We're also working with the rest of the team to make sure that those are the right values, but it has to start from the top, and then we have to be able to really trickle it down to the rest of the organization. So balancing, performance and happiness is a fine balance. One area that I absolutely believe that all sales leaders need to be doing is simply recognition. It's really easy to recognize your top performers, but it's also really important to recognize just a job well done. To recognize somebody that maybe implemented feedback that you had given previously and you saw them live implement it. Maybe they shared a best practice or even tried something new. I mean, with messaging and sales messaging and the way that we do our outreach, we have to get creative, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but when it does, you should make sure that you're sharing that with your peers. And as leaders, we need to recognize that so that we can really foster that environment. Sales leaders can create a happy sales team by making sure it's part of the vision and strategy of your sales organization from the beginning. It's in everything you do, in every deal that you bring, and it has to start from the very beginning. Your hiring characteristics have to define what a happy sales team will look like, whether it be collaborative characteristics, whether it be somebody who can sit next to you in the office. It has to start from the hiring environment. You have to be able to develop those characteristics and identify those characteristics from the very beginning.